Howdy, we're back, and you may notice that it is a change of voice here. I have to give it up to Gene Wilhelm. He pulled the significant marathon segment of 3 hours worth of highlighting things going on at St. Mary's Catholic Center here at Texas A&M, and he did a wonderful job. So I just want to give a shout out to Gene and say well done, and you earned your lunch. So great. And I'm for any of you who are tuning in, who are expecting to hear Dr. Ray at this time, I am actually quite pleased to be the person to interrupting that segment today and coming to you as part of the Catholic Community Showcase. And with me, we have Christina Vehar, right? And then, or was it Vihar?
It's Vihar.
It's Vihar.
Yes.
Oh, we just discussed this.
Did.
We were discussing it, and then I got confused. And I was hoping to nail that one, but I didn't. Well, Christina is with us from Ccctx, which I'll let you tell everyone what that is. If you don't know what it is already, that means you haven't been paying enough attention to what the opportunities to do good service in this neck of the woods are. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what Ccctx 3 C's TX is and what brought you here today.
Yes, thank you so much. So Ccctx stands, of course, for Catholic Charities of Central Texas. And we are so proud to be the one of the preeminent social services in the country. Catholic charities around the nation are known for our services helping people in the community. Here in Central Texas, we actually serve 25 counties, including the Brazos Valley. We have an office here in the Bryan College Station area and are so proud to provide services daily in quite a few different areas.
So what capacity are you involved in Catholic Charities?
I am the marketing coordinator for Catholic Charities. So my job is to help just spread the word about what we're doing, what our needs are, and how people can get involved and help promote the mission of Catholic Charities.
So you are located out of Austin yourself, correct?
I am.
Now, does the Central Catholic Charities, is it sort of affiliated with the Diocese of Austin, or how does that work as far as affiliations go?
That's a great question. And one of the things that we hear a lot from people is, how are you associated with the church? And it's a very strong relationship. We are actually a separate organization, and but do have great support from the Diocese of Austin. The way that Catholic Charities across the country generally work is that we share the same boundaries as the diocese that we're in. And that's why we have 25 counties, is we're serving the same 25 counties that makes up the Diocese of Austin. And those services are different from what you'll find at other Catholic charities across the country. We like to say that once you've seen one Catholic Charities, you've seen one Catholic Charities.
Right.
People are often very familiar with Catholic Charities as a brand, but what we do actually locally can be somewhat of a mystery for people.
So would you say then that what you do is going to be ordered towards what the needs are in the area that you're working?
Absolutely. So we are dedicated to making sure that all of our services do a couple key things. Address a need in the community. Don't duplicate any services that are already being done well by other organizations, especially for new services that we're not recreating a wheel that's already working very well. And then the third is that all of our services follow and adhere to Catholic social teaching.
Okay. And so how long has Catholic Charities as an entity existed?
We actually just celebrated our 15th year here in Central Texas. And the roots of Catholic Charities actually go back a lot further than that. As a network, we've been around for over 150 years. And even here in the Diocese of Austin, we have existed a lot longer than that. But 15 years is really when we were incorporated as the organization that you see today.
Okay. So locally, what sort of activities are you doing? What kind of services are you providing? What are some of the needs that you've sort of seen in our area and addressed through your services?
Yeah. So currently, Catholic Charities has 4 key programs. The first of those, and the one that we hope we never, ever have to implement, is disaster response. And that is one of the things that Catholic Charities is actually very well known for, again, across the network, of being first responders when a disaster happens.
Would it be, I mean, I think in people's minds, the Red Cross like kind of comes up to mind. Is it similar sort of work that they do?
Yeah. Red Cross is often the very first group on the scene, and then Catholic Charities is one of the groups that will continue long-term support of an area. So I can give you an example that around this time 2 years ago, there was an explosion in West Texas.
Right, I'm sure.
Fertilizer
everyone
plant.
remembers that. Yeah.
Everyone will remember that as being a local tragedy.
Right.
Catholic Charities is still working in West Texas. We still have families that we work with to help them recover, because the both economic and emotional effects of an event like that can last for years. And we are dedicated to being there as long as we're needed.
Now, as it's right there in the title, Catholic Charities, is it something that's particularly geared towards aiding Catholics, or is it more, whoever's in need, regardless of faith?
So you've touched on the second of the big questions that we get, which is, do you have to be Catholic to receive services? And the answer is no. It's a resounding no. We don't care. We don't care whether you are Baptist, Buddhist, or have no faith tradition at all. We want to help you if you need help. We serve because of our faith, not the faith of people who are coming to us looking for that help.
Right.
Now, we do adhere to Catholic social teaching. We have a couple positions, key positions in the organization that are required to be Catholic, so that that person can help ensure that the agency really is holding on to those ideals and keeping in line with what Catholic social teaching says. And other than that, this is another place that people are often surprised. Catholic Charities does not require the staff to be Catholic. We find that many people are very, very passionate about our work and want to dedicate their lives to the services that we provide, and believe in the same mission, vision, and values as Catholic Charities, even if they're not Catholic. And by inviting people of all faiths to be a part of the agency, not only do we reflect better the communities that we serve, but we find that we can get the very best and the brightest. Right. And
now we're definitely going to continue talking about the services in particular, but since we're on this path, I know that when people who are very faithful Catholics are looking to donate money to organizations that are helping people out, there's often a concern that the money that's donated might go to things that maybe are against church teachings. What steps do you take as an organization to ensure that the things that you do, the things that you're involved in, and the services that you're providing don't contradict not only Catholic social teaching, but also Catholic moral teaching and things like that?
That's a great question. We have a very strong relationship with the Diocese of Austin, and actually have a someone who can act as a moral theologian for the agency. And so often on a case-by-case basis, we have to make a decision about can we provide this specific service for this specific client?
Right.
That may be a question that would come up. And so using the resources that we have through the diocese to determine what is the appropriate response that is both caring and compassionate to the client, but also does not violate our beliefs as an organization. Right.
Okay, so we talked about disaster services, which hopefully aren't going to be needed very often, as little as possible, but they're there when you do need them. What are some of the other things that maybe are more the day-to-day activities and services that are provided?
Absolutely. So day-to-day, we like to talk about our programs as doing three things. We are caring for children, we are strengthening families, and we are welcoming the stranger. And so I'm going to talk about those kind of in reverse order.
Okay.
Welcoming the stranger is often working with our immigrant community.
So obviously that would be something that, like, you know, in the state of Texas, that's going to be more of something that Catholic Charities is going to do, as opposed to if you're, you know, off in Oklahoma or something, or maybe Oklahoma even. But yeah, so that is a more, you know, localized situation that's going to come up a lot more here in this area.
There's a definite correlation to why it's our biggest program here, because there is such a huge need for individuals needing, especially legal services. And that's our specialty, is providing immigration legal services.
Okay.
And the goal of that program is to help families stay together and stay safe. One of the opportunities for people that I think is really wonderful and is also a very important thing for society in general is we're able to help individuals who have been victims of crime who may otherwise not have a voice, may otherwise not have any ability to find justice, because the perpetrator of that crime is a citizen and they are not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's so easy, you know, if you're you know, a citizen and everything, and you watch the news, and people like to characterize, you know, illegal immigrants as committing crimes, and this is a problem. And of course this happens, of course, but we don't think about the fact that what if you are here and a crime really has been committed against you, and if you don't have that legal status as a citizen, what kind of difficult situation you would be in. So you, in a way, you're sort of almost lost.
Absolutely. It's a very, very vulnerable situation to be in, because anyone can take advantage of you. And the threat, and there's not necessarily a lot of education about what opportunities are out there for an individual to find justice. But if you are being threatened, if you go to the police, I'll have you deported.
Right.
There's a lot of fear. And so what this particular program does is allow us to help bring people to justice, help bring people who are violent, who are committing crimes to justice, and protecting families who are helping to bring that person to justice. So it's that side of the program I think is really interesting, because it's not only helping these families who have been victimized, but also helping address societal issues that we see.
So how does that function as far as what Catholic Charities does? I mean, do you have like a cadre of lawyers, or you do more of the we help to hook up people with the appropriate people? How does the structure of it work?
We actually do direct services in this area. So we have 3 staff attorneys and several accredited representatives who are also able to do work on immigration cases. And so they'll do everything from an initial consultation that will help people understand, what are my options? What do I qualify for? What do I not qualify for?
Right.
To even representing individuals in court when their case comes to that point. One thing that we see a lot is there are, again, individuals who are looking to prey upon vulnerable populations. And so there's a term that is used for people who are doing this, and a notario would be the term that someone would use. In Spanish, that might mean someone who is an attorney or a lawyer, and it would be a trusted word. Here, that is someone who probably does not have the training that they need to actually properly complete a case.
Right.
And it could be just an outright scammer, someone who's going to say, for $2,000, I can reserve your place and I can submit your paperwork. And actually, when that individual who's sought out that service goes to get it, the person has disappeared with their money, and now they're in an even
so they've been
worse...
doubly victimized at this point. Yeah,
exactly. So Catholic Charities provides low cost, very high quality services to help protect people from becoming victims of scams like that, and then also to help them out of poverty, to help stabilize their families and keep them together and safe.
So other than things oriented towards the immigrant population, what other services?
So strengthening families is a very important part of the mission of Catholic Charities. We do this in a lot of different ways, but I'd like to talk about one way that's actually new to our network or to our particular agency. We are starting the beginning of May, going to have clinical counseling available through Catholic Charities. And this is very exciting because we often see that events that happen to people, crises of one kind or another, can affect not just the finances of the family, but also the mental state of a family.
Right.
Children especially are affected by hardship. And so our clinical counseling will help provide low-cost services to help people through some of the crises that they're facing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people wouldn't have the insurance coverage to cover that kind of thing, and so they certainly wouldn't have the money to pay for it out of pocket. So it would be service that they wouldn't be able to have at all otherwise, which could potentially really help keep their family together.
Absolutely. And something like counseling is often considered to be an extra thing. It's not a necessity. The value of counseling is somewhat misunderstood. A lot of people don't realize how important it can be, and that it's a very positive thing. It's not because families have done anything wrong or that they are that things are wrong. They just need help working through what's going on. And so it can be a very stabilizing service for a family because they can solve a lot of things that are going on and help strengthen that family as a unit.
Right. I mean, I think, with current events and everything, there's a lot of talk about the importance of the, family and sort of maintaining that family unit and how that has a positive impact on society. And we need to, as Catholics, promote that, not just in the areas, like saying that we're, opposed to same-sex marriage, but also just really, helping those families stay together that are already together.
Absolutely.
And trying to build that society up from that building block that is so essential.
Yes, and supporting families that are already facing challenges that many of us do not face, economic hardships, educational barriers, giving them more tools in their toolbox to be successful as a family is one of the things that's going to help raise them out of poverty, which helps society in general.
Mm-hmm. So say you were a family who maybe needed these clinical services that are coming on new, and you're not exactly in poverty, but you don't have health insurance because you don't have a job that has health insurance, so you wouldn't have coverage for this, but you're not below the poverty level. Would you still qualify for these kind of services through Catholic Charities, or do you have to actually, submit your poverty level papers?
The clinical counseling is offered on a sliding scale. So sometimes we find that there are families who actually don't need reduced cost services, but they want to support us and want high quality counseling services, and they may come to us as well. And if you are at 200% of the poverty line and you can only pay $5 a session, then that's what you're going to pay. But if you can afford more, then the staff work with families to find an appropriate balance of that so that we can serve as many people as possible and keep our lights on and be a sustainable program, but also be very accessible to families.
So something we haven't talked about yet, but is I think probably the best known perhaps of the services that you offer is the Gabriel Project Life Center. So before we get into exactly what it all is, I think you need to answer why the name is so long.
That is a great question. And there's some history there. The Gabriel Project is actually an existing organization. Gabriel Project is a parish project that helps connect pregnant women with mentors, with support. It is very much a program that is designed to help families choose life. And that is operated out of parishes. So many people hear Gabriel Project Life Center and think, oh yeah, I volunteer at my church.
Right.
And it's almost a sister program. The Gabriel Project is based out of the parish. It's much more mentoring focused. It's most often a service provided by volunteers. That's not us. We are the Gabriel Project Life Center, but they came from the same place. There was several years ago, the Gabriel Project folks realized, we need some more robust services. We need classes. We need more ability to provide bigger items for material assistance. And so the Gabriel Project Life Center was born. And then shortly after that became a program of Catholic Charities. So currently what the program does and what sets it apart a little bit from what people know in their parishes is that it's a 3-tiered approach to helping families to choose life, not just the first time, but every single day that they have to choose life. Because that's a decision that has to be reaffirmed every single day for a family. The first is the most important, which is education. The education is focused on parenting and pregnancy topics. So things like nutrition for women who are pregnant, and also nutrition after the baby's born, and what is healthy for that child. The things like postpartum depression. Often mothers come and they have no idea what this is. They don't know what the effects will be. And we can educate and give them a little bit more support than they're necessarily getting.
Yeah. And I would imagine for something like that, I mean, obviously the prenatal counseling would be really important to give them tools to identify the signs of postpartum depression, to understand that this is something that happens, and that, because I know that in that area, like, there's so much guilt that comes up with the moms are like, I can't believe I'm feeling this way. I'm terrible. I'm an awful mother. Why did I even choose to have this baby? Because I'm, defective somehow. So if you can get them earlier before that happens, and warn them about these signs, and then they'll know and be able to seek the help they need if it does occur. It's really important.
Absolutely. And putting more tools in parents, again, putting tools in toolboxes so that people have more ways to address the needs that are going on in their families. And it may be even just recognizing I'm not alone in this, and getting help connecting to services like our counseling center that's coming to get help with those things. So it's the education piece is I say it's the most important because it is the place that we can most see growth in families and the strengthening of parents, and also the places that we can see our effects to help reduce child abuse and neglect, and reduce trauma and also troubles that those children are going to have. The next part of it is material assistance, and that is actually very closely tied to the education piece. So we talk about them together. The material assistance is important because what we often find is that families are having to make decisions. The paycheck only goes so far. They're working multiple jobs, they're working hard, but when you have a new mouth to feed, even if it's a very tiny mouth, it brings new challenges to the family.
Well, so beyond food, I mean, we all know who've had children, kids take a lot of gear.
They do take a lot of gear. And if you're a parent out there, think about the number of diapers that your newborn went through in one day. And now multiply that by the number of days that your child is an infant and in diapers. That's a lot of diapers. So we help take away that decision for parents. So they're deciding between buying food, buying formula for their child, or buying diapers for their formula. They may be deciding between buying the medications for an elderly family member and buying the things that their newborn needs. Think about families who are both taking care of the new life in their family, but then also the aging members of their family. And those decisions become very, very stressful. They become true barriers for families. And instead of being able to spend time focusing on the development of their child or on things that will support the family building sustainability for the future, such as education or job searching for better paying jobs, they're spending that time focusing on, acquiring things. And so we, part of the educational piece is that parents can attend classes, and then for the classes that they attend, they also get points. And then with those points, they can get diapers. That's a real big one, especially after the baby's born, but also items like a crib or a car seat. And this also doubles as a safety measure. So all those parents out there can think about what's sitting in their garage, and there's a good chance they have a car seat out there or an old crib. And the fact is, safety standards change every year. Car seats actually expire. They get broken and they're no longer safe. And so we want these families using the best equipment that is actually going to provide safety to their children. And so we help take away some of that economic burden, but also give good, safe materials. And families are earning it. This is not a handout, it's a hand up, helping families move forward.
Well, we don't have a lot of time left, but I do want to just give you the opportunity to tell folks who are interested in the services that you're providing, either as somebody who wants to take advantage of them or someone who wants to potentially get involved as a volunteer or in some capacity. How would they do that?
So for families who are looking for services, calling us, go to our website, all the information that you need about which of the areas to reach out to, because we do have multiple offices. But go to our website. It's www.ccctx.org. And call us directly. We can, if we can't help you with our direct services, then we're going to direct you somewhere where someone can. So it's a great resource in general for the community. For folks who are interested in helping out, call us. We accept donations on our website. That's a wonderful way to help support our programs is to help fund it. If you love it, help fund it. We
and
also
keep your eyes open for events. I know that y'all have like golf events and things like that throughout the year where benefit dinners and things. So
we do. And if you go on our website, you can also sign up for our email list where you can receive that direct information about what events we do have going on. And we need volunteers. We utilize volunteers as much as possible to help reduce our costs, to be good stewards of our resources, and also to give opportunities for the community to engage with people in need and provide that help.
All right. Well, we, like I said, only have about 30 seconds left. I want to thank Christina Vihar, got it right that time, for coming all the way from Austin to join us and talk about what's going on with Catholic Charities of Central Texas. And we appreciate the work that you do. And any last words for the folks before you head off?
No, I think Catholic Charities is just dedicated to providing help and creating hope. And we just want people to remember that Catholic Charities equals hope.
All right. Well, give out that website one more time. That's your one-stop shop for whether you want to try to get in touch with folks who can provide the services or get involved.
Yeah, so that's www.ccctx.org.
All right. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you so much.